Each of our projects focused on different aspects of our community: physiological health, social health, environmental health, and economic health. Although these are all different aspects of our community, they all follow one theme: health. This was the overarching issue that our clan addressed. The health of all three dimensions of sustainability, social, ecological, and economic, are all addressed in each of our projects.
Hi, my name is Solange Gonzalez, and my civic engagement project was done with Keep Lee County Beautiful. I participated at their Great American Cleanup at JC Park. The key objective was to remove or prevent litter buildup on the park, and one of my personal objectives was to identify community-specific patterns. I succeeded at both objectives, specifically by identifying that one of the patterns was confetti in the empty fields or cigarette butts specifically on parking spaces near the shoreline. With my partner at the event, I was able to remove a wood plank the size of the car from the shoreline, as well as a trash bag full of litter. One of the roadblocks I faced was having to change my project last minute, so there weren't as many long-term opportunities available with Keep Lee County Beautiful. At the event, community members were approaching us to thank us for our service, and coming up with a response to that was difficult to me, and it made me realize why I do service. I also had a realization during the event about how I could connect this, what seems small service project, back to a bigger theme of public health. Judging from the positive response of the community members, I could tell that it was also having an impact on their everyday lives. My service has also contributed to Keep Lee County Beautiful's now 288,000 pounds collected since 2017. Something people should know about my project is that at first I thought it was too small of a project to complete. However, upon doing more research, I was able to connect it to a larger picture and realize that community cleanups have more impact than we realize. Overall, our group has had a big connection to serving an association. In order to create our civic engagement projects, we had to associate with a group or cause and serve that group or cause.
Hi, my name is Madison, and my civic engagement project was done with the Boys and Girls Club at the Pueblo Bonito location. My project was about teaching the students of our local Boys and Girls Club about kindness, compassion, and empathy. Where I saw success with this project was the fact that I was being able to visit the club several times with many different lessons and activities, all that correlated to kindness, compassion, and empathy. As far as evidence goes, I took pictures of the students whom I was allowed to while they were working on their worksheets or doing coloring. I ended up leaving the club with a bulletin board filled with all of the kind notes that the students wrote for one of the activities. The biggest issue that I had to face was the age difference between the students. And this was a challenge because a lot of the activities that I structured needed to be simple enough for kindergarten age students, but also engaging enough for students that were getting ready to enter middle school. The overall impact of this project was amazing for this group of students, and Miss Jamie can attest to that. She let me know at the conclusion of the project that this was great for the students. The addition of these activities into their lives every week helps them make strides in taking steps to be more empathetic and therefore to be more well-rounded leaders in the future. This project was a huge success, and the results were that the students walked away from it with a better understanding not only of what kindness, compassion, and empathy are, but how to apply them in the real world. Personally, I was able to walk away with the feeling that I put forth my best work in trying to help the state of our community here in Fort Myers.
For my civic engagement project, I volunteered at the emergency department of the Naples Community Hospital. The main objective of my project was to bring more attention to the impact that the shortage of nurses can have on a community. Throughout my project, I did have a few successes. I was able to help resupply rooms and prepare them before patients were brought in. On one occasion, I was also asked to help translate for a Haitian patient in order for the nurse to collect general information from the patient. One of the roadblocks in my project was not being able to obtain specific photographic evidence aside from a picture and video of myself outside of the hospital in order to abide by the guidelines of HIPAA. HIPAA stands for the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996 that protects the privacy and security of patient information. For this reason, filming is not usually allowed in hospitals or other places that store private information. My project was personally impactful as it allowed me to closely observe the dedication that goes into a career in healthcare. I now have a greater understanding into what it means to be an essential worker. An essential worker must be able to provide services to individuals from all sorts of backgrounds. A career in healthcare requires a person to think quickly and to think outside of the box. Even when the emergency department was overwhelmed, the nurses would find ways to see more patients. A career in healthcare means to have the trust of your community. In order to maintain that trust, hospitals must be able to provide adequate care for patients, and one of the most important steps to doing so is to have a sufficient number of nurses to provide this care.
This semester, I participated in the project Crocheting Sustainable Pillows for the Homeless, project that was organized by FGCU University Colloquium, my community partner. This was a virtual project, so I advanced it at different times during the semester. The objective of this project was to crochet a pillow that could be donated to the Lee County Homeless Coalition, so they could donate these pillows to people in need. I recognize that my successes were learning how to crochet, making yarns made with plastic bags, and crocheting a well-made pillow. Throughout this process, I took many pictures that go from making the yarns, which are yarns made of plastic bags, until filling the pillow in order to close it and finish it. About the roadblocks, I remember I was doing one of the pillow's sides and I realized that it was getting smaller, so I had to reduce some routes to fix it and keep the right side of each side. The impact that this project had was that it helped me to know about homelessness in Florida. I didn't know this issue was that huge. Also, the fact that I had to use plastic bags made me think of other things that can be done by using yarns, and also it made me contribute to the reuse of plastic bags, which are a major environmental issue. Finally, I consider this pillow is going to help homeless people to manage in a better way low temperatures and be more comfortable. Also, I realized that crocheting is an interesting activity for me. While doing it, I discovered it helped me to get my mind off things and it gave me the time to think of different things that I could crochet and could be donated to people in need.
Hello. So for my project, my objective was to promote health and reduce obesity through physical exercise, and that being specifically through soccer. My success in this project, I would see it as uh, I was able to help work on the soccer fields almost every Saturday for at least a few hours every Saturday. Um, although, like I mentioned before, in like my other writing, it's kind of unfortunate that the fields weren't able to be completed in time for the end of the semester. I think that would have been cool to match up. A lot of work was done, and I'm gonna keep working on the soccer fields, and they should be done within the next few weeks. In terms of evidence, I don't actually have physical evidence that I worked on the courts, but if you pass by the church that, or if you pass by the courts being built by the church, uh, you'll see how much progress has been made on the soccer fields. Because like the area where the soccer fields are being built right now used to just be a bunch of like rocky terrain and trees and bushes. Some roadblocks I experienced. There were several roadblocks I encountered on this project. For example, oftentimes it was difficult to balance school, work, sports, and working on these fields. I knew it'd be tough, but I wanted to do as much as I can to help on this project. In addition, there were some outside issues that prevented us from working on the field, such as having unfavorable weather or delays or mix-ups with materials and equipment. And those are things that we really couldn't do anything about. And lastly, for impact, I think it was a really cool and beneficial project to be a part of and to work on because it incorporated sports, health, and outdoors. And all of these things I love and they're close to me. And when these fields are done, not only will it be a location where health is promoted and obesity is reduced, but it'll be a place where people of all ages can come together, play soccer, or just play sports, or just walk around, make some friends, and to not have to worry about struggling to find a field that's actually available and actually playable. And in addition, working on this project gave me an inside perspective on what it means and what it takes to execute a project of this type. And despite that, I think the most important part of this project is knowing the benefits that these soccer fields will have in our community for a long time, and knowing that I did a little bit to help promote health and fitness in our community.
Number 4, perspectives. As a collective, we learned that it isn't just enough to be members or volunteers in our community. The big impacts come with the last 2 stages of the active citizen continuum, where we go from being conscious citizens into active citizens. We all learned that our community partners provided us with great opportunities, and it is relatively simple to get involved through communication with these partners. My project personally impacted me by helping me form connections with the students of the club I worked with. It also taught me patience. I want people to know that my project meant so much to the students, and it was quite easy to get involved with the Boys and Girls Club. I will be back visiting them next semester.